Here I planted celery on April 4th. Today's the 17th, 2020, and you can see how well they are doing. Planted them in the flat, just scattered the seed. They like light for germination, and then put just a little bit of soil over the seed, and they come up pretty well, didn't they? I'll keep you updated on the celery. Celery does really well, started indoors. As you can see, I have a bunch, and it's almost like a celery microgreen, because when these get so big, I'm just going to trim them off. I'm also going to take some out and transplant them into the garden for later on. Hey everyone, hey, it's Diane from Diane Mom Garden Videos. April 28th update on my celery plants. These were planted April 4th. As you can see, they're getting their new leaves. The new true leaves are coming. If I wanted to, I would. What I'm going to do is take a few plants out and plant them in 6-packs, because I want to be putting some out in the garden this year. And I did last year. They did okay, but it got hot, and they needed a lot of water. So don't neglect them, because they really need the water. And they look really good, don't they? And the rest I might just leave them in here and just cut the tops off and put them in whatever I want to put celery in, or dry the leaves. Really nice to be able to grow indoors, especially when you can't get outside yet to do it. Why not transplant some celery seedlings for you today? Just as well. I'm on a transplanting high today. Okay. The celery's pretty easy to grow from seed. They like light for germination, as you probably know, some of you. They don't look very big, but they still are transplantable. They really are. So I'm just going to do about 4 or 6 packs. And these seeds are small too, so it's so much easier just to scatter them in the tray and transplant them later. Right? So I'm just getting the ones that starting their true leaves. Here you can see the root. Look at that. Nice. Just pull them out. Very easy. I'm trying to get the bigger ones, and I might be doubling up on some of them. I'm not worried about that too much. But the rest of these, I'm only transplanting some that I can take and put in the garden. I'm going to be putting some in the garden. The ones I had last year did pretty good, but they got a little bitter. I think they got to have a lot of water. They need to stay pretty moist out in the garden. And you know, when summer comes, you just don't always get to all that. For one, it just gets so hot. And they were in a part shade. They had some shade, so they grew fairly nice. The stalks don't really get that big here in the Midwest. I have never had them get real big. I don't know what the trick is to growing them, and maybe they just need a better area for growing. So we'll get these out of here, and these will be nice just like this. And once I let them get big, I'll just snip them off and then either dry them or use them fresh. I put celery seed in like coleslaw, and I can't remember what else I'll put it in, but there's a couple different dishes I put it in. It's just got a really good flavor. Anything that calls for celery, basically. You like soups, your soups, and especially chicken noodle soup. Very good in chicken noodle soup, right? Alright, let's finish this up. You pretty much get the idea by now. The little plants, tiny, aren't they? But you know what? They're tougher than ever. You just got to make sure you don't bust the stem. Water them in so they're happy. Let them set a day. I'll put them under the lights probably tomorrow sometime. They get compost tea. And since I mess with them a little, I'm going to give them a little shot more of water. And they get the compost tea already too, so they're pretty happy. I'll probably be showing you later on how they're doing in the garden. May 2nd update on the celery plants. So it looks like they're doing okay. They're doing okay, aren't they? You bet. They're just really small, but we got all kinds of time, so we'll be fine. May 9th update on the celery plants that I transplanted. I think they look pretty good. Take a look at those. Then I'll show you the other flat. These are the ones I'm just going to let get big and just trim them off and dry them and use them, you know, for cooking. So they're nice and full. They look pretty good. They got a little lighter color in spots, and that might be too much water. So I might back off a little bit. These over here look a little bit better. So I'm not too concerned, but I just kind of have to watch that a little bit. Or they could have got too dry. May 18 update on the celery. Do they look yellow to you? Yeah, I'm not. I had this happen last year too. The ones that I transplanted are green as ever. So these either got too dry, too wet, or they're lacking something. But the ones that I transplanted are just fine. So maybe the overcrowding. You know, these over here are a little greener. These in here aren't doing as well. They're yellow, but they did do that last year. These over here, look at, they're a little greener, and they did get dry a couple times, but I think they'll be fine. I'm not going to worry about it too much. I'm just going to be cutting these off. I do have some to transplant out in the garden, and I will be doing that later. But we're going to let these grow a little bit more, and then we're just going to start cutting them off. And then I will be probably just letting them dry and then putting them in a jar. Alright, today we're going to be planting our celery plants. Typically celery likes cooler weather. There's my celery. They don't look too bad. But we're going to put some in the ground today. I do plant them where they can get shade in the afternoon, because they do not like it that warm. And also they like, you want to dig a 3 to 4 inch trench. Plants like to be 6 to 10 inches apart. I'm actually going to put them a little bit closer. Celery likes a lot of water. So if they're not getting a lot of water, if you're not getting a lot of rain, you want to make sure you water these. The ones I grew were self-blanching. From here, I'm just going to put a little bit of soil on them. Set them upright, but keep them in the trench, because when you water them, it's going to be a whole lot easier for that to put a lot of water at one time when you water. If your celery plants do not get enough water, they're going to be skinny and have a really strong taste. I noticed last year when I planted them, they were skinny because I didn't give them the water they needed. I'm going to plant a couple rows here. This is right by my compost bin. So they should like it. They need some high nutrients. They need a lot of organic matter. And I have compost manure here, so they should do fine. Got to kind of keep an eye on them. This might be one plant that's a little trickier, but if you're in a cooler climate, you probably can get away with growing these pretty easily. I live in the Midwest and it gets a little warm here. So we'll just finish up here. Firm the soil over the plants. And we'll kind of give you an update on them later on how they're doing. I'm going to water these in once again really well. It'll be easy to water them in the trench. And right now it's shaded here, so they'll be fine. To try. If nothing else, I like to get the tops off of them, and that's also flavor. I got a few more plants here yet to plant, and I might just throw them in a part shade area, but they do like 6 hours of sun. That is if you're not too hot, okay? Not the hot part of the day. The hot part of the day you want to shade these. This will complete this video. I appreciate you watching, and we'll see you on the next one. I finally planted that flat of celery right outside, right by my compost bin. And look how much they have greened up. This has got shade in the afternoon. The celery is managing our 90-degree weather. It's crazy. Alright, this is the one I planted that was looking so yellow. Look how green it's gotten. So it's getting what it needs out here, and it's doing well. There's even one cilantro in there that mixed in. What's going to end up happening with these, I think, is I'm going to be pulling the leaves off and using them and drying them. Because with our heat like it is, I don't know how they're going to handle it. So there's your update.